Hi everyone, this is Raybo, and we've now traveled over to Starlight, where we're going to do the demo tutorial here, and hopefully you guys will be able to see what I'm going to put up on the screen next over here, and it's the PDF that'll be included in a link in the video, and we're going to use this to go step by step through this process. And what we've done here is built 3 items using Creative Clutter and the vanilla build set that's in the game, and we are going to use those to create our simplified differential layout. Hi everyone, we're back on my desktop, and we're going to start this tutorial by taking a look at a quick PDF. Now, I've built 3 settlement objects. When I made this PDF, I didn't have any idea what I was going to build. So we have our chair, our canopy is actually represented here by the umbrella, and of course the Creative Clutter picnic table. And what I'm going to take you through this entire process, but this is the most important concept here that I really wanted to drive it home, is as you're going through your game, you're going to build a settlement, build different pieces of it, and that's represented by building all 3 of these. And what you want to do is, once you get done building whatever you want to build, you may decide, man, something's really nice. I like that. I want to use that in every single game for this location, or potentially pieces of it in different games. And so you're going to say it could be a wall, it could be plots, it could be a layout, it could be your foundations, whatever. Each of those separate items is represented here, or a combination. It could be the security with the canopy and floor units, but they're all represented by these 3 separate things. All a differential layout is you're going to build this. You're going to run your layout. That's represented by this black line. You're going to make a console save, and you're going to export your layout. I like to take a screenshot of the export layout screen so I have a record of the log file name. And then you're going to come back in and you're going to scrap whatever you want to bring forward and to make a layout. That's why it's called a differential. Everything that's the same will not be brought forward into that differential layout. So I like to think of a layout as whatever I scratch and scrap and it disappears from the game is kind of like my interdimensional bag. And inside that interdimensional bag, I can then pull out that layout at any future game that I'm playing. So that's what we're going to go through. Now, we're going to use this PDF throughout this tutorial. So anyway, the differential is, all you're going to make is a differential of what's different from step 1 from step 2. And if you scrap that flamingo and that canopy, that's going to be your layout. Okay, we're going to talk about recording the log files. We're going to talk about where on your system to find these, and we'll go ahead and take a quick look at that right now. And it's in your save files. If you go to logs, script, and user, in the future, this is where these log files that we're going to take a screenshot of and come and look at it, rename, are going to be here. Now, what I like doing is making sure that I name this save file and this layout full and this one scrapped, because that's how the differentials work. When we go to the website here, which is the next step here, what we're going to be doing is going to this red, I call it the red one. The red one's for the layouts, the blue one's for the city plans. So the red layout. And what we're going to do first here is just create differential. Now, when you look at this create differential, you're going to have to pick two files. What is full, which is your first excuse me, layout, is everything you just built. It's going to have your entire settlement in there, even stuff you don't want in your differential. That's going to be your base export. That's going to be the first one. The second one is going to be what you scrapped, or everything but what you scrapped. And that's going to go here. And that differential is going to be what you scrapped. And that's represented by this website. So like I said, create differential. These are the two files. Full, scrapped, and it's going to create a text file, and we'll see that as I go through the tutorial. And once you're done creating the differential, you're going to now choose this file, and you're going to go in and you're going to grab that text file, and you're going to bring it in here and just do a traditional layout and create ESP or ESL. And you're going to name it and do whatever. You don't have to fill out all these fields. I like to. Then you're going to create the ESP or ESL, and then you can, in our case, it's going to be the flamingo and the canopy. And now you have your plug. So that's what we're going to do. That's the process I'm going to show you guys in game. I will link this PDF to the video, so you can use it as a reference in the future. So let's go back in game. Thank you. We're back in game, and apparently Haley, being a little misorganized, wanted to put the demos here out in the correct order to reflect what's on the PDF. So the first thing, those three examples represent what's on the PDF and represent everything that we've built in this settlement. So now let's do the first layout, and it will be for everything. We're going to run over here to the workbench. And what I like is I know I've already built everything. So let's come out here and just make a save so we know we're starting the process. So the hard saves don't like special characters. So you just want to type save, go in the console, type save, and I'm just going to call this start. Okay. And now we have a hard save. So right before my export, it's going to become more important to have these later on in case you lock up if you have a big settlement and complex things going on, who knows, you're running a lot of scripts, so it's good to have these saved so you don't have to go back and redo stuff. So we're going to go to settlement layout, export layout, and yes, it's enabled. I'll probably throw that at the end of the video. And we're going to export this settlement. We're just going to sit here and wait. Okay, now here's an important step. I like to write down that number, and it's going to be 6749520, and that one's going to be full. And I'm going to click OK. Actually, I'm going to take a screenshot here. Okay, and now that I got that export done,
nominal.
I'm going to make another hard save. And now we're going to put the pieces that I want to put in my differential layout into my interdimensional portal and exclude the other pieces. So I'm going to go into workshop mode, and into my interdimensional portal I'm going to take this with me, this awning. I'm going to take this flamingo because I love it, and that also means that I just have those two items from Create Clutter. This should be a base item. It'll say probably Workshop Rearrange, but it'll come back in the game just fine. So I'm going to click R and scrap. Okay, that's it. Those items now are in my interdimensional portal, and I can make a differential layout with them and bring them back into the game. So now, because I've scrapped, now I am going to make one more console save. And this one's also kind of important too. So export. Scrapped. And I'm not too worried, I'll rename that. But enter. Alright, so now let's do that.
I have been to many places in the Commonwealth and learned so many.
Hit space. And I'm going to go to settlement layout, and I'm going to export this layout.
New words.
And this one should go pretty quick. Now, for some reason, this process failed, or it crashed, or something like that. That means I have a hard console save to come right back to this point and try it again. So if your settlement got interrupted by a settlement attack or some goofy thing like that, this is a good way to protect yourself from Fallout 4 itself. Okay. Now, that was a successful export. So I'm going to make a screenshot of this. I'm going to write down the number, which is 495 499. Okay, couldn't be any easier than that. Okay, I'm going to run out here. And I don't need a controlled save for this. Hi everyone, this is Raybo, and we're back on my desktop. We are going to open my tutorial, and we're going to talk about where we're at so far. So we built everything. We made a console save. We exported our layout, and we took a screenshot of it. Now we came back in. We scrapped the pavilion, the umbrella, and the flamingo. We made another console save, and we exported it. So these two export files have screenshots because I'm a forgetful old fart. So we're going to go in here to the saves. Go to the logs, script, and user. And you're going to see this 4, which is the second one. So it's a later time and date. And what you guys don't know is I went out and sprayed my weeds between this video. So I was only out for about an hour, but this earlier one is the first one. So let's grab, and that's this one, and it's the full. So I'm going to rename this one right now. And I'm not going to mess with it too much. I'm just going to call it Export Starlight full. And I'm going to call this one Starlight Demo Scrapped. And to make this look the same, now, to not really confuse things, I'm going to click on that and click on this, hold Control and click on it. And I'm going to go Cut. I'm going to close these. I don't need these anymore. And I'm going to go Paste. Now we have them in this round 1 folder. And now we need to go make our differential text document. So what we're going to do here is we've gone through this process. We've gone into these log files. We've created the full and the scrapped. And now we're going to go to the web tool. And I have mine bookmarked, and I have it also linked down here, the layout creator. And I also have the link for the how to set up your any files for the script logging. So you can go there and learn how to do that. If someone needs me to do a video on that, I could. But if I do a profiles video, I'll definitely include that in that video. All right, so I'm going to go to my browser. And like I said, I've hot linked it. So I'm going to go to Sim Settlements. This is where I have it. Where is it? Sim Settlements, City Plans and Layouts. And there's 2 that Kinggath shows you guys. But we're going to go to the red one, which is the Layout Creator. Okay. Now, the first thing I'm going to do, I'm not going to mess with any of this stuff. I'm just going to go Create Differential. And it's going to amalgamate these 2 file names, which is just fine with me. So base, which is the full, and I was working on Lakeside Cabin, so let's go back out here to the desktop and go into the right folder, Video Differentials, round 1. And we're going to take this full, and we're going to put it right there on the top. And we're going to take this next one, scrapped, and put it on the bottom. Okay, so basically it's going to say whatever was here less this. So A, B, and C, A, B, and C less this is what is going to be created. The less this is what you're going to get in your differential. So if we had A, B, and C, A, B, and C, we're going to get a layout for B because we scrapped it. So A and C are gone. A and C, if you put an equal sign here, it's just basic algebra. Whatever is the same on both sides of the equation, it can cancel out. So if you have A and C on this side and A, B, and C on this side, you put an equal sign here, you cancel out A and C, and what you get left with is B. Create differential. Sorry about that impromptu basic math class, but some of us have been out of school for a long time. You don't need to change the name here. That's not important. What is important is it's going to say export differential. So now this is a differential layout, and it's text. And I suppose if we wanted to, we could change this to something like demo div. I don't think that's necessary, but we go ahead and let's see if it works. All right, so now we're going to go back into this tool. And we are at this, we've already done the create differential, chosen the files, and we now have this text file. Okay, we're going to go back into the plugin creator at this step here, and we're going to grab this text file as if it was a solo layout. The process to make a layout of a whole settlement or a differential is the same at this point. And it's also the same in Kinggath's video. So what I'm going to do is just open this up. I'm going to choose this file. And now we have the full scrapped in this differential. It's text. You can click that, open it, and put it in here. And we're going to go back to that Word document I created, because I like consistency in names. I get really irritated when we have all kinds of different names. Now, I'm not real good at this, but I've also discovered ESPs sometimes don't like special characters. So get rid of all the special characters. We're going to put the hard requirements in here. Got the file in. I like copy. And I'm going to call this, just for my own edification, dirty. And that might that may confuse folks, but what I'm saying is maybe in a later video or later in this video, if I am motivated to, I'll show you guys how to clean it. For your own use, this is fine. But if you're going to share it with other folks or delete mods, it's good to know that you're going to show other requirements, but it's always going to need this. So even though it shows other requirements, the only thing you really need to worry about is this. So it's not really that important, but you know, if you start sharing it, they might start freaking out or whatever. But it's going to show all kinds of documents. If you went into a clean save, it's going to show missing plugs. And what you need to make sure is that the hard requirements are reflective of what you need for that differential. And so it's almost cosmetic here, but it just lets me know. Mod name. I'll keep it the same. Author's me. Version. And I'm going to call this 1.0 differential. And don't take that as a negative, but so what I always do with my naming convention is I'm going to call them by version, and if it's let's say a city plan or a layout, just a plain full settlement layout, but this is definitely a differential layout, so I'm going to put a D there. I'm going to create an ESL file. And in this same folder, I'm going to drag this over. Now, I'm going to show you guys something that's kind of neat. Usually, what you would do is create another folder and put that in there and create archive. And we can. To install it into your mod organizer. And add to archive. I like using 7-zip. And that's it. Now you're ready to install it into your game. I'm going to close this out. And so now we have the plug, which is this ESL file here. Now, what we're going to do, though, is just grab that ESP. I'm going to open Vortex up. And we are going to go to the Mods tab. We'll keep it at Rainbow. And I'm just going to grab this ESP and drop it in here. Okay, now what should happen is Vortex is going to ask me, is designed to install mods from archives, but this doesn't look like one. Do you want to create a mod containing just this file? Yep, we're going to create a mod in Vortex. Okay, and we're going to enable it. And we are going to go wait for it to deploy. And I'm running this on my full load order, so we got now 471 mods. I need to remember to uninstall this before I go back to my main game. We're going to go to plugs, and it's going to be right here at the top. I'm going to change this, and this way I know every new mod that comes into my load order is, of course, it comes in as default. There is no mods in my load order anymore that are default. Everyone gets a group. So the group here is going to be way down on the bottom, Sim Settlement City Plans. I named it before we got layouts, and it's an ESL, so it's going to go in the right spot with the city plans. I'm going to sort now. I'm going to wait for Vortex to complete. Now, if for some reason you go into your game and that file, it does not display in your workbench, what that means is you probably put a special character in there that Vortex doesn't like, so you may think you enabled it here. And what's going to happen in game is when it loads, it's going to disable that plugin. So you want to make sure you don't have any special characters in that ESL name. Otherwise, you're going to have to come back to these files, change that name, and create another one. So Vortex, if you, what I'm trying to say is, you didn't do anything wrong with creating your ESL. You might have just put a special character in the name and it didn't like it. All right, so now it's sorted it down there. Let's see where it's at. It's right here at City Plans and Layouts. I'm going to reduce this. This doesn't matter. Put my video down here with these other projects. Reduce this. And let's go back in game. And I'm going to go back to that controlled save. Actually, I need to go back to the save right before it. And so here's our start export process. But I'm going to go to the one, right here, before I built anything.
Yippee-ki-yay, mother effer. I was taught that in my courser training.
Hey, boy.
So we're going to hit space, manage settlement layout, build, and we're going to use this layout. I'm going to pick build it but skip any scrapping. It took 1 second. And now,
You staying out of trouble?
whether this was a wall, a
All systems
series
nominal.
of plots, what
There's
have
a
you,
good dog.
you now have your differential layout. Could have been your clutter for your settlement, could have been anything. The foundations, you now have this neat little differential that you can put in any
I
game.
hope I do not malfunction at a critical
Don't let the
moment.
simplicity and the small scale of what I just showed
Thanks for
you
your help.
deter from the actual scope of what you can do. You can create walled settlements, or walls for all your settlements, and then come in and, you know, build the plots different in each game. But that,
Hey there.
ladies and gentlemen, is differential layouts with the whole crew here at Starlight
I
Drive-In.
hope my circuits
Hope you
hold
all
up
enjoy,
today.
and
Hey, buddy.
I suppose I should talk about this briefly. Actually, I'm going to talk about the next piece outside of the game. So anyway, depends on what I decide, but hope you guys enjoy, and see you next time.
I have been to many places.